Hi, I'm Bill Bonfanti.
And I'm Frank Nocerino.
Welcome to Box Office Bang Up. This weekend there's 3 new releases coming out in theaters. We've got the remake of Clash of the Titans, Sword and Sandal fantasy epic, also in 3D.
Miley Cyrus's new movie, a Nicholas Sparks novel, The Last Song.
And Tyler Perry's latest, Why Did I Get Married To? Alright, so why did I get married to? Anyway,
let's go right into Clash of the Titans.
Let's go right into Clash of the Titans. That is the big release for this weekend. Again, it is a remake of the 1981 film, which I used to love as a kid. I haven't seen it in quite a few decades, and I'm sure it's pretty bad now, but I have to tell you, I'm really excited to see the remake. The remake, based on my memories.
The remake looks fantastic. It really does. Everyone's childhood memories of Clash of the Titans is going to be reborn again, and we all like to go back to our childhood and see good movies. I actually think this movie is a little bit... There's a glut of 3D movies right now, so my prediction wouldn't be as high as I normally would take this. I would take this as a $100 million movie a month ago. This, now since How I Trained Your Dragon came out, Alice in Wonderland came out, these 3D movies have been a glut in the box office. I think this movie does still make a lot of money. It does make $85 million this weekend, and is the #1 movie, Clash of the Titans.
It's clearly the #1 film for the weekend, without a doubt. Like you said, there's quite a competition for the 3D screens right now between Alice in Wonderland and How to Train Your Dragon. So that is going to dull its impact a little bit, Clash of the Titans. But to be honest with you, the best comparison for this film is the film 300, which also came out around this time of the year. It was 2007, though. Okay. That film opened to $70 million, but it's got the same audience. It's the whole sword and sandals, you know, Sparta kind of thing. So I think that's, you know, it's the same exact audience. So normally I would have said 65 to 70 million for Clash of the Titans, but once they went to 3D, I think it can do about 80 million for the weekend.
Absolutely.
And I see it figuring, you know, maybe about 200 million in the 4-week popcorn period, which again, the popcorn period is my term for the 4 weeks between a film opens to when it cashes out on the Cantor Exchange. At this point, if you don't know what the Cantor Exchange is, go to cantorexchange.com, check it out. I promise you that if you come back to Film Go and check out all the tips, you guys are going to make money trading movie stocks.
Trading movie stocks.
Trading movie stocks.
Very good.
So, Clash of the Titans, we're both in the same wheelhouse, basically.
Yes, it's a hit.
You would have went higher if not for the...
I do believe there is a glut of 3D movies out there. This movie should be $100 million movies. I do think over the 4-week popcorn period, it will make between $200 and $220 million.
Yeah, all right, so we agree. I mean, it also has Sam Worthington, who is
hot off
of Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
He was still pretty hot off of Terminator Salvation. I mean, talk about a year for this guy, really. Terminator Salvation, Avatar, Clash of the Titans.
What's next?
Who, you know, he definitely.
Yeah, where's he go next?
There is nowhere to go. The next Avatar is where he goes next. Absolutely, you'll see and they are certainly making a sequel to that one.
I'm sure.
So all right, so Clash of the Titans. Another big hit for this weekend is going to be The Last Song, based on a Nicholas Sparks novel starring Miley Cyrus.
He wrote The Notebook.
He wrote The Notebook, Walk to Remember, Dear John, which was just out a couple of weeks ago with Channing Tatum and Amanda Seyfried. Anyway, Nicholas Sparks has a huge fan base. His films tend to make, I mean, they're kind of spotty. They make 40 million overall to 90 million overall, depending on the property.
But you are throwing in Miley Cyrus this week.
I think this is one of his bigger releases.
This is definitely going to be a hit.
In fact, I don't know if you know this, but the film was actually written for Miley Cyrus, and then he wrote the novel based on his screenplay.
Oh, wow.
So this is tailor-made for her.
That's good. Oh, yeah.
I think the kid is a huge
Very
star
talented.
in the making. I think she's going to be around forever.
Forever?
I think forever, dude.
Okay. I think she's talented.
My daughter, when she's 45, is going to be going, I used to listen to Miley Cyrus when she was 16. I guarantee it. This kid is a huge star. She hits it on all levels. I was actually fortunate enough to take my daughter to see her in concert in November, and you know, going in, I was like, "Oh, great! I'm going to see Miley Cyrus." Let me tell you something: the kid is amazing, amazing performer. She's going to be around forever. And one thing that you're not realizing is that during this concert, she has a hit song from the last song.
Oh, okay.
All right. My daughter's going to kill me for not remembering the name of the song. But whatever. It's a good song. It's a ballad. During the concert, she actually performs it with scenes of the movie playing on a teleprompter, so it's going out to her fan base.
Right, absolutely.
They're gonna pack theaters. So I think that The Last Song can make about 26 million this weekend. Dear John, of course, came out about 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, compared to that movie.
That made about 30 million. Another Nicholas Sparks novel, young actors in the leads.
The Hannah Montana movie, though, made $30 million as well.
It is important to point that as much as Hannah Montana is her brand, she had 2 Hannah Montana movies. One was a 3D concert that opened to about 32 million. The Hannah Montana movie, based on the Disney series, made about 32 million.
Yeah, she's right out there all the time.
That's all her. It has nothing to do with Hannah
No,
Montana. It has
right.
to do with
That's
Miley
her.
Cyrus.
Absolutely.
Because there's a reason why Disney's not releasing Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, in theaters
Right,
starring
right.
Selena
But they are
Gomez.
doing-
That's a straight to
right.
DVD release because
Exactly.
Miley Cyrus is huge,
Absolutely.
and she's going to continue to be
$30
so.
million movie
And
for sure.
Disney has a great record of taking these young stars, and making them into big stars. You know,
This is
Zac
one
Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Hilary Duff. But the difference is Miley Cyrus is bigger than all of them combined.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, this is a big movie for
I
her.
think it's very big. 26 million. I think it makes about 75 million over the popcorn period.
I actually am going a little bit higher. I'm going with 32 million for the last song,
Wow.
and about 80 million for the popcorn period. Miley Cyrus is big, and all
She
the
is.
teeny girls will go see her twice, 3 times. It's a big movie for
Yeah,
her.
it's going to pull in most of her hits. The only reason I think it can make a little bit less than like the Hannah Montana movies is there may be some trepidation on parents' parts taking it. It's an older role, you know. This
Right, it's
There's
more coming
it's
of
more
age.
dramatic.
Right,
there's you know she
Couple
falls
maybe
in
love
love.
scenes,
I know
right, yeah.
there's something.
Yeah,
to
maybe
her,
not.
Her father in this gets sick. You know, it's dramatic. It's definitely. But I think
I
she's
still
gonna
go
pull-
30 because I like her.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a big hit. I really,
fun.
really do. Which brings us to the last movie for this weekend, which is Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married 2. It's a sequel, of course, to Why Did I Get Married? Right, Why Did I Get
That's
Married?
Tyler Perry.
Pretty tough to figure that one out. The first movie made 21 million in its opening weekend, went on to make about 55 million total run in the box office, which is fairly typical for a Tyler Perry movie. His other films, some of them open bigger and make a little bit movie, but those usually feature his signature character, Medea.
She's not in this.
She's not in Why Did I
Nah.
Get Married 2.
This is gonna be
unless
a
she
miss
makes
for
a
him, I think.
cameo or something that I'm unaware of.
She might,
She might, but
I think this is a miss for Tyler Perry.
so
You know, 15 million to open. We would have 45 million 4-week popcorn period run. That's about it.
that sounds about right to me.
Especially with all the movies that are out.
Right.
I mean, there's so much to choose from. I feel like it's the
This,
summer almost.
to me, is the very definition of an unnecessary sequel, where people really clamoring for another
Right,
Why Did I
right,
Get
right.
Married?
He
I
should've been
can't
happy
wait
with
for there to
right.
be a sequel to Why Did I
Right.
Get Married? But then again, he does have a very dedicated audience, so I think it could pull in just slightly a little bit less than the first one. I think it could make about 20 million for the first
wow.
weekend.
Yeah, all right, that's good.
And
I would think it was
maybe
that much.
about 48 to 50 million for the popcorn period.
Okay, the popcorn period we're about right, but I think it's only going to be about 15. As I said, there's a lot of movies coming out.
There are a lot.
There's a lot of movies out there now. This is almost like the summer is upon us so soon. Movies galore. There's 10 movies out there right now that anyone could go
Really.
see.
Every year the summer season starts early. I'm
Earlier.
expecting by like 2013.
President Weekend?
January, yeah.
Oh, January.
January.
Yeah,
We're in
right.
agreement. January, you're gonna see like the newest Star Wars
Exactly.
film come out.
The new Jaws will be out in January.
Jaws 17 in 3D, of course,
Of
because
course,
everything's
3D.
in 3D.
Everything. But they're making money. All the 3D
They
movies
are making money, but they're going
That's
to
what it's all
they're going to
about.
learn a lesson here. It's also about,
Hopefully.
it's about the product. I mean, let's.
I
face it.
agree. I
mean,
agree.
If you release Why Did I Get Married 2 in 3D, it's not
Yeah,
going to
I
make a
don't think
difference
that. I
to
don't want
the
to see Tyler
gross.
Perry right next to it.
It's like,
I don't want to see Clash of the Titans right next to
wow,
it.
did you see those effects and Why Did I Get Married 2?
Medina was so close
But-
to you.
But yeah, so 3D is obviously the biggest craze.
Yes, for
and,
sure. And
we're
Clash of
gonna,
Titans
we're going to
is
see
gonna keep it.
more and more theaters have that capability to show 3D movies, and eventually it's not going to be a problem. But there's like 15 movies coming out in 3D this year.
I know, it's going to be
It's crazy.
It really
It's
is.
crazy.
It's crazy. But I do
But-
think Clash is still going to be a hit. I think
absolutely.
Clash is going to do 80 million to this weekend and go with about a 210, 220 run for the
All
full
right,
week.
and I'm slightly lower than you. I'm going with 80 million for the opening weekend. I'm going for about 200 million total over the popcorn period.
Okay.
Last song, we both agree that it's going to
Absolutely,
be a big
Chris,
hit.
it's all
I'm
her.
go- It's all her.
Right.
It's all
All
about her.
But
26
the Nicholas Sparks novel don't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt it. It
Oh
really
no, of
doesn't.
course
I
not.
know.
Nicholas Sparks has become a brand name at this point, and his films make money.
Yeah.
And if anything, Dear John proved that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, 30 million for that, right?
30 million opening and made about 80 million total.
Oh,
so
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
that
for
was a
sure this
big
movie.
hit.
I believe that
And
if
if
this
that
movie
movie
too.
can do it, so
So
can the last song.
absolutely. Totally
But
agree.
the one difference is the Dear John opened with like absolutely no competition at all. There was nothing out. The last song is opening with a ton of movies out.
But Dear John didn't have Miley Cyrus.
I agree with you. But
That's where I'm going.
I know this sounds ridiculous, but girls love Channing Tatum. They love him.
Okay.
He's a good looking
Fair enough.
So they love him. They didn't really like him in G.I. Joe, but I did.
Yeah, I know that.
So anyway, let's wrap it up. We're last song with 26 million, 80
32
million over
million
4
for
weeks.
last song.
And you agree with the 4-week period. And Why Did I Get Married too? We both kind of feel it'll do okay. It just won't be one of Tyler Perry's
No,
biggest hits.
I think this
So-
is actually going to be one of his misses.
Yeah, so-
and it's going to go about 15
So,
million.
right, and I'm
for
saying
opening
about
and
20
then
for the opening weekend, and we both agree about 48 million for the 4 weeks. So that is pretty much our show for this weekend.
Right.
Next weekend, come back. There's only one new film opening, Date Night, starring Steve Carell and Tina Fey.
Oh,
which is
that's gonna be good.
A dream comedic film.
Right, absolutely. That should be
and
real
the more
good.
I see the trailers, the more I want to see it.
I
So
agree.
we'll be discussing that next week. Thank you very much for
Enjoy
joining us.
Clash of the Titans and have a good weekend.